Good afternoon. Let me start by saying I love Genesys Works. And Accenture loves Genesys Works. The way that we help Genesys Works is through an initiative that we call Skills to Succeed. Our objective with Skills to Succeed is to use our experience and expertise in talent management to equip 700,000 individuals around the world with the skills that they need to get a job or to grow a business. And since 2007, we've been working with Genesys Works. We've invested over $1 million in funding and pro bono services. But behind every step that we've taken together with Genesys Works is a story of somebody's life who's changed. So we got an email from one of our alums from Genesys Works a short while ago, and I wanted to share what was talked about. The individual's name is Zaini Sharif Mohammed, and here's what he said. When I started my internship at Accenture, my life changed. I slowly noticed me maturing and really holding myself to higher standards and finding ways to work through my failures to get to where I want to be in my life. I found refuge in my internship with Accenture, with the guidance of what I consider to be my team of success, my supervisors. My team of success always inspired me not to give up, ever. They always pushed me to reach my full potential. Now, Zaini is a 20-year-old new business owner. He owns an insurance, tax, and home care business. He's going to college to pursue his dream of being an anesthesiologist while minoring in psychology, I guess just for fun. He closes his letter by saying, "No words can ever describe how thankful I am to my team of success and Accenture and Genesys Works for all they have done to make me the man I am today." Giving Accenture's people the opportunity to have that kind of impact on a young person's life is why I started by saying, I love Genesys Works. It does not get any better than that. So to Jeff and your team, thank you. Now, I've got two thoughts I want to leave you with. First, I've sponsored interns onto my teams for multiple years now. Genesys Works brings amazing kids to you. And as Michael said, there's no burden here. These kids do fantastic work. My second point is, when I look out in this room of 400 people, I see the ultimate team of success. And I ask you to imagine what we can do together for these kids, for our companies, and for our community. And on behalf of all three of those, I just want to thank everybody in this room very much for your support. Now, I'm pleased to introduce our keynote speaker, Dorothy O'Berry. Dorothy has been gracious enough to come up here and share her incredible story. Come on up, come on up. She's come up to share her incredible story and journey with Genesys Works, so please welcome Dorothy to the stage.
As Mike said earlier, my name is Dorothy O'Berry, and I am here to celebrate with you the success of Genesys Works, made possible by not only the founder, but people like you. So thank you. My story is one of doors, revolving doors that offered little future hope, inviting doors that changed my life, and then open doors to a world where I can contribute and be valued. This is the story I would like to share with you all today. My presence in Genesys Works began like some sort of Cinderella story. I was born in Milwaukee, and my family moved around a lot, so I attended a total of 10 different schools before graduation. Due to an interesting series of events, my family and I landed in Minnesota, home of 10,000 lakes and 10,000 days of winter. I was attending my night school and trying desperately to remain unattached to something that wasn't promised. But things did not get better for us. In fact, they had grown worse because we had moved into a homeless shelter, which was just one more revolving door. Towards the beginning of my junior year in high school, my family and I moved to the east side of St. Paul, and I attended Como Park Senior High School. For the first couple of months, I just tried to keep my head down. I was focused on graduating high school. I wasn't even thinking about college. I was focused on permanence, and staying at a place for 4 years seemed like a fairy tale. But Como was different. I made friends, and I even met a woman named Molly McCurdy, who has now become both a mentor and a great friend. Unfortunately, after a couple of months there, my family and I had to move back to a homeless shelter, and there seemed to be no light at the end of my tunnel. I'm not telling you this to feel sorry for me. In fact, I appreciate my adversity because I accredit most of my personal growth to it. And having this experience under my belt has humbled me substantially. In addition to this, there was, in fact, by only the grace of God, a light at the end of my tunnel. Towards the end of my junior year, a bunch of Genesys Works students walked into my classroom talking about this program that taught you the fundamentals of IT and business etiquette. My counselor, Molly, said, "Dorothy, this would be a great opportunity for you." And in fact, she was correct. Fast forward to my first day of Genesys Works training. When I walked into the room, the atmosphere was so alluring. I knew that this program was special. I smelled success in the air, and I knew that that was a place that I wanted to be in. But there was always this lingering thought that I was inadequate, and I later found out that many of the other Genesys Works students felt the exact same way. But I find it amazing that we are all still great friends to this day. I was awarded an internship with some of the greatest people I have ever met. I worked at Deluxe Corporation, and let me just clarify, we do not just print checks. We make the pens, too. I worked on the desktop engineering team, and they taught me everything from ticket taking to server administration. They taught me about SharePoint and Active Directory, and I even had the chance to teach myself live migration, which is pretty sweet. The point is, I felt welcomed and a part of the team. Deluxe opened many doors for myself and others with this program. The CIO, Mike Matthews, even took me out to lunch where he shared all of his trade secrets on how to become a CIO. But unfortunately, it's not just an ad on snagajob.com. But seriously, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Deluxe. I appreciate you more than you know, and don't worry, the next lunch will be on me when I become a CIO. But really, before Genesys Works, I had no idea what I would do for college. Because of them, I have a plan. I would have never known my love of IT without them. I've been underestimated all of my life, but Genesys Works finally saw my potential. Without them, I wouldn't have had the courage to speak to a room filled with professionals like yourselves. They not only equipped me with IT skills, but they also taught me how to survive in the corporate world as well. My program coordinator at Genesys Works, Joe, was a little intense at times, but I appreciate him for it, so thank you, Joe. As of Wednesday, I have officially completed my first year at the University of Minnesota. And after Deluxe, I thought that that would be the end of my relationship with Genesys Works, but fortunately for them, they couldn't get rid of me that easily. Recently, they have hired me to start up this program at the University of Minnesota with the CIO, Scott Studham, to start this program for Genesys Works alumni. And it's basically my job to find them IT internships throughout the University of Minnesota. There are already 8 students working there, and by next year, I hope that number doubles or even triples. So in the beginning, I said that this story was about doors. And before I close, I would just like to mention another door that has recently been opened. My brother, Vincent O'Berry, has just been accepted into the next class of Genesys Works. And I'm delighted to say that my experience has encouraged his interest and motivated him to apply. I want to thank you all for making it possible for myself and others to be here tonight, or today. It's not night yet. Today. We are grateful for the doors that you have opened, for us with this program, and we know that collectively you can contribute to both our success and future. So thank you.